Go ahead.
You said that Andre would have to fight over his head at the presser to have a good chance. What did you mean by that?
Well, you know what? All athletes have a moment in their career that they can perform over their head. They just take it to another level. It just shows up one night, you know? And we've all witnessed it. And I used yesterday Joe Frazier in the Thriller in Manila as the perfect example. I mean, Joe Frazier was done, okay? He had been almost died in the first Ali fight. He was in the hospital. I think his first comeback fight, who was it, Ron Stander, or hurt him bad, right? Then George comes along, and that kind of destruction just could really do something to you. So now he's a forgotten guy. He's a big player, right? And then Ali emerges and beats George. And Ali, in his own mind, Joe is finished. You know, I'm gonna knock him out now. But that hatred, that fuel, that hatred, you know. But look at what Joe Frazier did. Something very crucial. Before the fight happened, he had a press conference in San Francisco, and that's when Ali brought out the Gorilla Act, right? And I was a young man. I remember they had the microphones in Joe Frazier's face, and they said, Joe, you know, how do you feel about him mocking you like that, saying that, you know, the Gorilla Act and anything like that? He said, look, the guy is loony, and I understand that. He says, but come fight night, he gonna think he in there with a real gorilla. You see what I'm saying? So his mind was in the right place. He couldn't move Joe off his block. And that's very important. You have to stay on your block. So the fight turned out the way it did. I mean, one of the greatest heavyweight fights ever. Joe fought over his head. You know, when everybody thought he was through, and he was through. But he called up that last great fight. You see, that was the last great performance he had. And nobody will ever forget the fight. So Andre has to sustain what Joe had at that time. And he's a little younger. And you can see it starting right here. See how he got his hand on my shoulder? See?
Andre is such a huge underdog, motivates him.
It better. I mean, if that's not motivating you, that's the opportunity of a lifetime. What you're here for. If that can't motivate you, you'll never get motivated again. You might as well retire.
Has he talked about those odds to you?
No. You know, I observe him through body language. I observe him through effort. And I can honestly say that he is not giving in to what is being said or what he's doing. I know for a fact that he's not on social media, that he's not listening. The only time he hears it is when he gets here. But like he said, he gave a solid answer. Rightfully so. Look, you're going up against a guy who's undefeated, who's fought the best in the world, right? Beat him, hands down, set pay-per-view records, made an astronomical amount of money. I'm supposed to be the underdog. I mean, why would I gripe about that? You know, I mean, you have to concede that. If you're gonna have any success, you have to concede what you have no control over. You have to concede what's rightfully the other person. So once you do that, then you can focus on what you need to do. So I don't think he has a problem with that at all. You know, now if he was equal, he had beat the same guys in the same fashion, he was undefeated, he was setting pay-per-view records, yeah, you know, you overlooking me, you see. But he has to accept it. So his mindset is where it's supposed to be.
How much can you help him in terms of talking to Andre and I guess giving him confidence just from some of the stuff that your conversations with you?
You mean before the fight, during the fight?
Before the fight.
Well, you have to instill in him the fact that he could win the fight, and history bears witness to these types of things happening. That you know, you can go from Buster Douglas to, you know, Ali, Sonny Liston, you know, even Leonard coming back at Hagler, and you could just go to these things that they exist in boxing. So if they exist, then the very simple reasoning along with that is to say, well, why not me? You know, and I think he said that yesterday. You know, why not me? It's been done before, so it can be done again. So he has to have that mindset to overcome the rocky moments. It's going to be tough moments for him.
Anything can happen in a fight.
Yeah.
You saw it, and Andre is more dangerous now than he ever was, because all of you guys have counted him out. There's one person who hadn't even remotely thinks like that, because he knows, because he's been the best for so many years. You see how, I'm not going to say all of you guys want to find ways to criticize guys, but I tell you, coming in, when we fought Shane Mosley in 2010, and Floyd got caught with the big shot, nobody thought that. You know, so for a flash moment there, you're looking and you're saying, damn. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and shit like that happens in a fight. You know, anytime you got anybody in there and they're swapping, you know, anything happens. And if a guy get caught, and not necessarily it comes down to one punch, but it's like, you just never know. One night you could just have an off night. That's why all you can do is put yourself in the best situation, get your ass in shape, and then lay it on the line.
Is there any personal heat between these two?
Well, I haven't observed none of that. I don't, you know, all I do is take care of the business. I don't know who dates who and who does this. And I don't have nothing to do with that, man. I'm 50 years old, man. I don't go out and hang out. I work.
But look, you know, I don't think either one of the guys have the capacity to hate. You know, hate is a very strong word. You know, something has to be wrong with you if you hate a person. Now, you know, somebody kills one of your loved ones, or if you have a matter out that screwed over your life savings or something like that, and he ran this game for years on you, you know, and he had you believing one thing, and the next morning you wake up and you're devastated. Yeah, you might get hate a person, you know, but it takes a real special ingredient for us as human beings to hate somebody. I mean, we're not programmed that way. It could be strong dislike, but I don't think it's hate. I think after this fight, if Andre Berto got broke or something happened and he needed $100 and he saw Mayweather and asked him, I guarantee you he'd get maybe $1,000 or something. You know, so I don't think it's hate. I remember reading the story when Ali was in exile, how Joe Frazier would buy him suits and give him money to help him out. But, you know, of course, Joe knew that was a good investment for him too. But then I read Ali helped Joe Louis. You know, there's a mutual respect among fighters, because in that fraternity they know what they have to go through. They know that it's a lonely, lonely sport, and climbing through those ropes